13 Nights of Saraween.
Hey besties, it's Sarah. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a cozy reset. This is a trend that I've been seeing on BookTube lately. People basically plan for their next month with their monthly goals, their TBR, maybe they throw in some chores that you need to do. Just all the things that make you feel like you're going to reset for the next month. I was very much inspired by Riley Marie. She's been doing cozy resets the last few months and I love watching them from her. So I thought, why not do my own? For those of you who don't know, the 13 Nights of Saraween is when I post 13 videos in the month of October. And so today is the first day and I thought, let's just get cozy. Let's just reset. So first things first, let's get into my goals for the month of October. This is a very busy month for me because of the 13 Nights of Saraween. So I don't really have a lot of time to do a lot of things besides YouTube outside of my day job. I haven't been working out since around June because I hurt my wrist during a pole class. So I haven't been taking pole or taekwondo classes and I've been really missing them. But I don't think October is the right month for me to go back to those sorts of like class workouts just because I'm just not really gonna have a lot of time. So I wrote down some things that I could do at home. So my first goal is I would love to stretch 3 times a week. I started pole in 2018 and I've always wanted to be able to do a front split and I have not really committed to a stretching regimen since then. And these days I work from home and I feel like I'm always stiff. And then on top of that, I would also like to use my walking pad 1 time per week. I bought a treadmill walking pad last, I want to say like September, and I also bought a standing desk. I spent a lot of money on this upgrade for my office because I was convinced I was gonna walk while I was working and it was just gonna be amazing. I was gonna increase my steps. And I have probably used my walking pad max like 10 times. I also recently canceled my Grubhub membership because I'm trying to eat at home more. So that's another goal of mine, is I just want to not eat out at restaurants quite as much as I usually do. That one is definitely a tall ask because I will be so busy for Saraween. It's very tempting for me to order food when I feel like I don't have a lot of time. And then the last personal goal I have for myself is to keep my bedroom and my office clean. I'm not even gonna show you my office right now, but it's very untidy. Like, it's not the worst thing in the world. There's just kind of stuff everywhere. And I recently had reorganized my bookshelves and I never put my couch back where it belongs. Usually I have my couch here. Right now I'm sitting in my office chair, obviously. Okay besties, up next we're going to talk about my monthly content calendar. I don't normally share all the videos I'm posting in the month, but because it's Saraween and I love to tell you guys what's coming up so you can be excited for certain videos, I thought why not share this calendar I've got. So the first video is obviously going to be this cozy reset that you're seeing right now. And then this Wednesday there will be a special edition of my romance videos. Typically I pick a subgenre of romance and then I read the most depraved books I can find. And so I'm actually going to be joined by my friend Katie for a drunk literacy. And then on Friday this week I have the video where I share what it's like to be a booktuber who also has a full-time job. Next week we have the best horror ever according to booktubers. That was a reading vlog that I did where I read 3 horror books. Then we have a dark academia reading vlog where I read 2 books. And we also have a bookstore scavenger hunt where I went around Barnes & Noble. And then on the 16th we have a video where I read books that I liked in high school. I liked a lot of random ass vampire books, and so I thought why not revisit what 16-year-old Sarah liked. And so that's gonna be a really fun reading vlog. I'm also taking on the art of bookbinding. You'll see me trying to rebind my copy of the Mindfuck series because it has a very ugly cover and I want a better cover, and everyone on TikTok has been getting into bookbinding as a hobby, and I thought why not try my hand at it. So we'll have to see if that comes out well. The last week of September I'm actually going to the UK. I'm going to Edinburgh and London, and so I'm gonna be filming a book shopping vlog while I'm there. I know that this video is coming out the 2nd of October, but I'm actually filming this the weekend before the last weekend of September. So I'm kind of a couple of weeks ahead of October getting this reset because I'm going on a trip soon. We also have a TBR takeover this month, which is really exciting because Sydney from Sid Bookworm is participating. I'm really excited to read the books that she picked for me. She picked a really great TBR. Also, I'm blessing you with not 1, but 2 romance videos this month. I'm also going to be subjecting myself to the Omegaverse. If you don't know what the Omegaverse is, don't worry, I will explain it in the video. And then the next video concept I have is really random, but I am reading the first 3 Five Nights at Freddy's books. If you've heard of the video game, there's also books that go with the games, and it's just a game that Gen Z is really into. It's like a jump scare sort of game with a lot of lore, and so people are really into it. Like, people cosplay as the characters. There's like TikTok sounds based off things from the game, and I thought why not figure out what the youths are into. And then the last video of Saraween is going to be a readathon vlog. I'm hosting a readathon with my patrons for Saraween. It is aptly called Saraweenathon. I've created a bunch of little challenges. We're gonna be watching a movie together. It's gonna be a really cute thing, which that actually segues me into the next part of the video where we're gonna talk about what I've got upcoming on my Patreon this month in case you're interested. I have a couple of extended videos that I'll be doing. For the Dark Romance Drunk Literacy, I actually filmed a full reading vlog where I was sober reading the book because I don't really know how many details I gave when I was talking with Katie. And so I'll have an extended version on my Patreon. I also will have a Scotland travel vlog. So the book shopping will go on my main channel, and then all the behind the scenes and travel stuff that I was doing will go over on Patreon. I also will have an extra reading vlog for my Omegaverse video. I'm reading a 4th book, so that'll definitely be interesting. And then the final bonus video for the month is a let's play for the game Five Nights at Freddy's. I am already afraid. I haven't played yet and I'm scared because I know that that game has a lot of jump scares. But the fun on Patreon does not end with those exclusive videos. We also have a lot of other activities that we're doing. We will be having not 1, but 2 sessions of reading sprints. We also will be doing a Veronica Mars watch along day. We watched the first few episodes of Veronica Mars last month. And so for the month of October, we're going to be continuing with that. So if you want to join in, you totally can. Like I mentioned, we're also going to be doing a readathon called Saraweenathon. I made a bingo board with a bunch of challenges on it. I'm not going to actually show you the challenges because that is only for patrons, but I will show you like a blurred, censored version of it right now. We'll also be doing a movie night for Saraweenathon where we watch Jennifer's Body. We also are going to be reading a fun book for the month of October for the BFF book club. That is the book club that I do with my patrons. I'm gonna be up front because I'm filming this early. I actually don't know what book we chose for the month of October, so I'm gonna go ahead and edit it in because future editing Sarah actually knows which book we chose. But that's a pretty good summary of everything we're gonna be doing in October for my Patreon. There might be a few other things that I'm not remembering right now, but as far as I know, that's what we're doing. Okay, besties, let's talk TBR. I'm gonna give you a few little spoilers for all those videos that I recently just told you. I gave you my whole content calendar, so I'm just gonna tell you some of the books that I'm reading. So the bonus book that I'm gonna be reading for that Omegaverse video is Squeak by Vera Valentine. I saw this on TikTok, and it is an Omegaverse book about these guys who can shapeshift into balloon animals, and I just thought this was so hilarious, and I knew that I wanted to read this for a video eventually. I'm also going to be reading Pet Sematary by Stephen King. Unsurprisingly, this was one of the top books that people recommended on their best horror lists. So for that video where I read the best horror of all time according to booktubers, I am going to be reading that. You'll have to see what I think about that because it is my first Stephen King book that I read all the way through. For my Dark Academia video, I am going to be reading Vita Nostra, which I think is a book that was originally written in Russian and translated. I know that it's one of Elias's all-time favorite books, and so I thought it would just be a really fun book to pick up for Dark Academia. I don't read a lot of Dark Academia, and I've had very mixed feelings on the ones that I have. It's very hit or miss for me, so I'm curious to see if I like this book because I know that Elias loves it, and I also saw a video where Jordaline read it and she also loved it. And then lastly, I'm actually going to spoil the entire TBR of the video where I read books I liked in high school because I think this TBR is so funny and I just thought it might hype you guys up for the video. So the first book I'm gonna read that I liked when I was 16 is Vampire Kisses by Ellen Schreiber. I don't remember a ton about it. I just know that the girl is really obsessed with vampires and there's a boy at her school that she has a crush on. I don't even know if I read more of the series, but this is a series and I know that I read this first book when I was younger because back in the day when I was a freshman in high school, YA wasn't really what it is now. It was just a bunch of random books and everybody wanted to be Twilight because that was the best-selling book at the time. And then the next book is actually one that I remember being good, and it's called Glass Houses by Rachel Kane. Rachel Kane is the same author who wrote the Still House Lake series. Also, I do have to mention that she did pass away a while ago, so I feel like this is my tribute to her because I loved this series. It takes place in a college and it's about a girl who I think she like moves into this random house with some people and they end up being vampires. That's what I remember, but I know it takes place in college, so it's a little bit of an older YA, and I'm really excited to pick this up again. And then the last book that I'm reading is the first book in one of my absolute favorite series when I was younger. Like, I ate this book up. I loved it so much. It's about witches. This one is not about vampires. It is called Blue is for Nightmares by Lori Faria Stollers. If you read this when you were younger, you might understand the grip that this had on me. Like, this has like a little bit of a mystery going on in it, and the main character can see visions, but the issue with her visions is that they're always trying to tell her something, and so something will happen to her physically. And so in this book, she keeps peeing the bed and she doesn't know why. She's trying to figure out what's going on. I think she keeps dreaming that something's going to happen to her best friend, and so she's trying to figure it out. And she goes to a boarding school. She also has a crush on her best friend's boyfriend, so that's another factor in this. I remember a lot about this because this truly was one of my favorite series when I was younger. I have been wanting a witch series that feels like like this since I read it back in the day. I don't know if it's good. We'll have to read it to, you know, refresh our memories and see, but I'm really excited to pick up these 3 books. I feel like it's gonna be a lot of fun. And if you were a teenager, you know, in like 2005, 2006, you might have read these as well. Okay, besties, that brings us to the end of this cozy reset. You'll have to let me know how you enjoyed it down below. Should I do more of these in the future? I hope that you're all really excited for the 13 Nights of Saraween. I've put a lot of work into it, and I can't wait for you guys to see all of the videos. Also, if you're interested in joining my Patreon for all of those exclusives that I talked about, feel free to join the link down below. And I will also link my Trova trip if you're interested in doing that with me. And if you're here just for the videos, I love that as well. If you've made it to the end of this video, feel free to use the bat emoji in honor of Halloween and Saraween. And I thank you all so much for watching. You're all beautiful. Have a nice day.